Hello, my name is Professor Alan Hoffman, and I'm in the Mechanical Engineering Department at Worcester Polytechnic Institute in Worcester, Massachusetts. The purpose of this video is to elaborate on the design process that goes from, that creates design, eventually creates design specifications, and then look at design as an evolutionary process in which most advancements are based upon prior knowledge rather than a revolutionary advancement where you're in an entirely new area. And then finally, to look at two designs of a device that really embody the same principles. So first of all, I want to speak some on the design process. So our example here in this video are bottle cappers. Now bottle cappers, here's a couple of current examples of bottle cappers. Now bottle cappers are essentially used to put, as the name suggests, caps on bottles. So here we have a bottle and here we have a cap, and essentially the bottle capper is used in some mechanism, in some way, to fit over the cap and then to take the crush the tabs of the crown, which is the cap of the bottle, such that you seal the bottle. Now, bottle cappers have been around for almost 100 years. I have here, and it will show in this video, 3 patents on bottle cappers. They all invoke the same basic principle of placing the cap on the bottle. And the first one I chose to present is from 1922, almost 100 years ago. And there are a great many patents in that era that dealt with bottle caps. I've only chosen to present one. So in this first example of a bottle capper, it was issued. It was a U.S. patent, utility patent, issued to C.S. Johnson on February 28, 1922, and it invokes a stand in which the mechanism is via a handle is moved along a gear rack on the stand and brought down upon the cap of the bottle to seal it. Bottle cappers were very popular in this era in the 1920s, probably from the 1920s to 1950s, when the general population grew a lot of their own food in gardens, also on farms, of course, and they did such things as create root beer, which needs to be in a sealed bottle, and many other things. I can actually remember my grandparents had this type of bottle capper as illustrated in Mr. Johnson's patent in their house. So what we have here is an example, and as part of this laboratory you will have to read the patent, but the example shows here how the bottle capper works. It's kind of an obvious mechanism. It's on a stand. It has a long handle protruding out from the stand, which runs along a gear rack, pushes the capper down upon the top of the bottle, cap down upon the top of the bottle, and therefore seals the bottle. The next patent I chose to present here and have you investigate as part of this laboratory is a design patent issued to Mr. Ronchetti on May 4th, 1971. This is a mechanism that is fairly similar to this one, but I mean the figure on the patent, it's a design patent. So what's patented here, unlike the first patent, which is a utility patent here, what's patented in Ronchetti's design is just the appearance. Design patent only gives you protection for the appearance, not for the function of the device. And his design is not identical, of course, to this current day bottle capper, but very, very similar. So he protected the design that more or less looked like this. The third patent, which I would like the class to look at, was issued to Mr. Kopperman on December 21st, 1976. And in this case, this is a single-handed device. Well, it looks like essentially a pliers or large pliers, and it can be operated by one hand. And of course, it's that makes it more functional in some respects. So each of these, you can see that by examining these three patents as part of this laboratory, you can see that the bottle capper has evolved, and there are patents since the 1920s up almost until the present day that look at different evolutions of the bottle capper, and that's pretty routine in the when we look at different kinds of devices. Relatively few devices are original devices, and they remain original throughout the life of the patent. So moving on then, we want to look at, in these devices, and we have two of them here, what we see here are two devices that are essentially the same. If we really look at these, they're essentially the same. They operate in the same way, unlike the three patents that I previously presented, which are quite distinctly different in many respects. So what we see here is devices that really have the same design principle, but they have different embodiments. They're alternative designs that have different embodiments but still function similarly. So as part of your laboratory, you will examine both of these devices and take a look at how the same functionality and same basic principles are used in devices that are somewhat different. And finally, as part of this laboratory, you'll be required to develop the design specifications for one of these devices. The design specifications for each device are probably the same. So that will be the last part of your laboratory. It's important to note that the bottle cappers you'll see in the laboratory can be disassembled, so you can get a better look at the actual functionality of the devices. That concludes this video.